Famous Jameis Winston was an All-American in football and baseball. Was drafted in both sports. He only lost one college football game. He won the last BCS national championship. He won the Heisman. He stole crab legs. He got on a table and screamed. He played quarterback while basically blind.
But I cannot see, I'm legally blind.
He had the first 30 touchdown, 30 interception season in NFL history. And he's probably the funniest dude ever.
You know what I'm saying? You got your elbows, or the elbows, your knees, right?
This is the story of Jameis Winston, aka the Turnover Bakery. And that's coming up right after this. Born on January 6, 1994, Jameis Winston was destined to be famous. He attended Hueytown High School, where he starred in both baseball and football. He was the #1 QB in his recruiting class, the Elite 11 Camp MVP, and Gatorade Player of the Year on the football field. On top of that, he was drafted in the 15th round of the MLB draft by the Texas Rangers, but ultimately didn't sign. At Florida State, as a freshman in 2012, Jameis sat behind one of the future worst first-round picks of all time, E.J. Manuel. When the next season came around, it was Jameis's turn to shine. In his college debut, he completed 25 of 27 passes while throwing for 4 scores and rushing for another as Florida State trounced Pitt 41-17. Jameis, Jimbo Fisher, and the rest of the Noles ended up running the table. You know, back when FSU was good. On just Winston's 20th birthday, yes, he couldn't even drink Four Loko legally, he helped Florida State beat Auburn 34-31 in the 2014 BCS National Championship. Remember that? They just used to pick the winner. Yeah, he found Kelvin Benjamin in the end zone, breaking this Auburn fan's heart. Coming into his junior season, all the hype in the world was on Jameis. You'd think he'd want to start the season off on a good note, except for he didn't even play the first game of the year. Why, you ask? He stole some mother-loving crab legs from a Florida supermarket without paying the $32 cost. Remember, shit was wild before NIL and TikTok. Once he finally got back in, he helped lead FSU to another 13-0 record before falling in the first ever college football playoff game to Oregon, 59-20. That was the only loss of his collegiate football career. Jameis wasn't just a bench warmer on the Florida State baseball team either. He was a switch hitter, but more impressively, he threw gas. In 60 college innings, he had 62 strikeouts while holding batters to an ERA under 2. Going into his junior season, he was named a preseason All-American in baseball. I'm serious. He had it all happening for him. But there was an alleged incident where Jameis jumped on a table in the cafeteria and yelled out, "Blanker right in the blank," a la this viral clip. Unfortunately, it was never recorded, but word got out pretty quick that it was Jameis who did it. Famous Jameis was drafted first overall in the 2015 NFL Draft, right ahead of Marcus Mariota. As a rookie, Jameis kept on winning accolades as he was named to the NFL All-Rookie Team and the Pro Bowl. It was looking like Jameis might be a star. In 2017, while on the sideline, Winston initiated an altercation with Marshawn Lattimore. Jameis didn't do much, but Mike Evans did as he smashed Marshawn Lattimore. And Winston was fined over $12,000. The following season, he led the Bucs to a 5-11 record. The wheels were starting to come off the former #1 pick. In 2018, he was suspended 3 games for groping an Uber driver. Jameis started becoming the target of memes. It was in 2019 that he got benched for Ryan Fitzpatrick, and the Turnover Bakery had officially opened. Jameis had a tendency to make really dumb throws or misread a defense. Sure, he could throw you into a game, but he could also fuck you right out of it. Coming into 2019, the Buccaneers made a major change, getting rid of Dirk Cutter and replacing him with quarterback whisperer Bruce Arians. Well, Week 1 was a precursor to the rest of Winston's season as he broke the Bucs franchise record for passing yards while throwing 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions, 2 of which were returned for pick sixes in a losing effort. This would be one of the most entertaining seasons to watch from an NFL player ever, as long as you weren't a Bucs fan, as while Jameis had games throwing for 3 picks and less than 200 yards, he also had games like weeks 3 and 4 where he threw 380 and 385 yards with 7 touchdowns combined. He was up and down like your mom on a pole on a Thursday. In week 6 at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Jameis took it to the next level. To go along with 1 touchdown, a fumble, and 5 interceptions, yes, that number would make Nathan Peterman proud, the Bucs lost again. During week 14, Jameis threw for then a career best 456 yards with 5 touchdowns against 3 interceptions against the Colts. He's getting better here. He basically played the NFL like you or I play Madden.
Is your assistant perhaps a hot mommy with nice milkers?
The next week, Jameis outdid himself, throwing for 458 yards against the Lions, becoming the first QB in NFL history to have 450 yards in consecutive games. Overall, in his infamous 2019 season, Winston became the 8th quarterback in NFL history to throw for 5,000 yards in a single season, the first Buccaneers quarterback to throw for 5,000 yards in a season, and the first quarterback in NFL history to throw at least 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. He led the league in passing yards, completion, and attempts, but also led the league in interceptions and total turnovers, obviously. Winston's 7 interceptions returned for touchdowns set an NFL record. And you know what that gets? A damn son. In 2020, just after the season ended, while it was announced Jameis underwent surgery for a torn meniscus, it was also announced that he underwent surgery for LASIK. Yeah, you heard that right. He literally could not see very well when he played quarterback in the NFL. Jameis would also later tweet that he thought Bruce Arians was black for years before he got LASIK. I guess the interceptions are starting to make sense now. The Bucs decided that they had enough of Jameis' inconsistent play and replaced him with some guy named Tom Brady. I guess you could say that worked out. Jameis would sign a deal with the New Orleans Saints, backing up an old and often injured Drew Brees. He didn't play much in 2020, but he did have this.
To Kamara, now Winston, now Traquan Smith. Flag is down. Smith is into the end zone for a touchdown.
Jameis was pedestrian with the Saints, often injured and in and out of the lineup. Despite his newfound 2020 vision, he was still the inconsistent QB we had all seen on tape. Jameis received an injury, tried to play through it, and was ultimately replaced. That was the last time Jameis has started a game, for now. This offseason, Jameis signed with the Cleveland Browns to back up Groper Cleveland, creating a quarterback room that will undoubtedly lead the league in illegal touching. Here's the thing about Jameis Winston. As quirky as he is a player on the football field, he is way funnier and entertaining off of it. Like probably the funniest NFL player of all time. And it's all effortless. He does the craziest workouts ever. He says the funniest, most off-the-hook things in interviews.
Where was the pain, Jameis?
Yeah, just pain. It was pain everywhere. So we got to keep on pushing through. Our body is so symmetrical, right? You got your wrists, and then what are your wrists on the bottom half? Your ankles, you got your shoulders up top. What are your shoulders? Your hips, you know what I'm saying? You got your elbows. What are your elbows? Your knees.
He can't run through pads, and he's all about eating W's. And whatever this clip is.
Fish, step away, swim away, fish. You're not going nowhere. We got you on the boat right now. What do you have to say for yourself? If you were wondering, I asked the question too. Why do fish flap when they're out the water? A wise friend told me that they're just simply trying to swim away. Well, fish, how does it work swimming in the air?
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video about the man, the myth, the national treasure that is Jameis Winston.
Sex? You addicted to sex? A sex addiction or something?
No, sir.